don't understand if they... It sounded almost like they, like, were lizards and eat Piper's people, but then there's one that's kind of just chilling there.
Yeah.
Can they get accepted into Modelland? Maybe this guy is upset that the lizards aren't accepted into Modelland.
It's gonna be like Inheritance, where everybody gets included in the end of the series, which never happens because it stops after this book. Imagine that, it didn't last. Huh, weird. Hey guys, it's Legend Wings or Mackenzie back again with my friend Kaylee, and we're here to read another couple chapters of Modelland.
Wrong way.
There you go. So last time, stuff happens. It was so good that it's just escaping my mind.
We got to hear a little bit about the Pilgrim Plague and found out that Miracle and Mrs. De La Crème are going to be climbing up the mountain.
Yep. Tookie does a time skip.
Yep.
So we jump 3 months in the future, but
just
before
out
that,
of nowhere. Oh, there's the weird, like,
the
traumatic, like, visions of their past.
Yep, that happened for some reason. And now we're at chapter 24.
Yep. So I guess with that, let's begin. Chapter 24. W-O-W. Our most unusual tale picks up at the start of the next Modelland quadmester, 3 months and 4 days into the Bella's first year at the unusual, untouchable, and never uneventful fantastical land at the top of the mountain. In case you couldn't tell, it's sort of the narrator.
Yeah.
But I think it's only this one paragraph, which is... It's just
totally
set up kind of
Tyra.
weird. Tookie stood in front of the mirror in the bathroom of the D, brushing her tongue with her toothbrush. As she rinsed her mouth, her thoughts turned dark. She's not mine, Creamy. Every morning when she brushed her teeth at Modelland, her mind would inevitably return to that dismal memory of her father, but it was happening later in the toothbrushing process each day.
Okay.
Just minutes later, Tookie, Dylan, Shiraz, and Piper walked towards the E. They neared the new stadium, now almost completed. A group of sweaty bastosteros were picking up construction debris.
Ew.
Hey, what's up? It's Tookie, right? It was Bravo.
Of course it was.
For a moment, Tookie just blinked. He's not talking to me, but he did just say my name. He was coming towards them, carrying a thick tree limb over his shoulder like it was a toothpick. The other girls' mouths dropped open. Hi, and bye, Tookie said, remembering how Bravo had oh so rudely pointed out the snot hanging from her nose after her first mastication class. She hadn't seen him much since, and she certainly hadn't been looking for him. Good luck with your manly man stuff, she's added flippantly. And don't forget to pout your perfect lips and contract your rippling muscles for the cameras. Also, I really don't think he was all that rude.
No, he wasn't rude, and I don't know where she's getting, like, is she, like, saying this?
Yes, she's saying this to him.
That is so out of character.
I think the letter that we saw in the end of the last chapter showed that Tookie has a character and actually has a voice. But now, we haven't gotten to see that in this because of these time jumps.
Yeah, so I don't feel like it's justified, because we haven't, there needs to be a baby step before this, and there was none. It's just 0 to 100. Like, now she's tough. You didn't get to see that transformation. She just is now.
I still don't think it was all that rude. Again, he could have been like, ha ha ha, you have like snot dripping from your nose.
No,
but,
he's like...
And like, he kind of like, I'm assuming he kind of like goes like this. Really, there would be no way everyone else would be like, oh yes, he's only looking at Tookie if they're all standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And she just happened to kind of like reach up and like realize, oh crap.
Yeah, I don't...
So like, it's not like he actually pointed it out, because technically no one should have just realized that he was staring at her and only her, so...
Yeah.
I don't think this is justified.
Yeah, no.
Really, for her thinking that he was rude, per se.
Yeah, no.
So, I don't know. I don't know, but let's see.
Would she rather ZZ point it out? Like, that's the thing.
Now, if ZZ pointed it out, it would have been much worse and probably rude.
Yep.
Dylan shut Tookie an "Are you crazy?" look and nudged her in the ribs. I'm more than just a modeler, manly man, Bravo said. Then he laughed uncomfortably, shaking loose bark and dust from the tree limb. Some landed in Tookie's hair and on her face. How close is she?
Like, must be in front of him.
Is he, like, swinging this, like, log on, like, his shoulder? They're, like, having to, like, duck out of the way?
Yeah, maybe.
Great, Tookie thought. Now he's covering me in splinters. Is it this boy's mission in life to torment me?
He hasn't done anything.
Although the last time we said this about a character, it was Zizi, where Zizi hadn't done anything, and then later on it shows that she is bad. But again, we haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Okay, their first interaction I don't remember exactly because they interacted one time before she saw him through the window as she was like running to class. There for some reason too.
Yeah.
He made some sort of comment to her.
Doesn't she ask him like where one of like the where one of the classes is or something? I don't know. We might have to go back and look it up.
Go back in case I do find it. I'll play it right here.
Are you lost? Tookie turned and saw a muscular testosterone with chiseled features walking toward her. My name's Bravo, he said, looking straight at Tookie. From testosterone. Are you a new Bella? Tookie opened her mouth, but then shut it again. The guy was staring at her so pointedly, like she had worms crawling out of her hair. We're building this new 7-7 stadium for you, Bravo went on, gesturing to the site. A couple years ago, a huge fireball decimated the old 6 stadium. Tookie still couldn't say a word. 2 boys appeared behind Bravo, both in fashionable workmen's uniforms. What's that you're talking to, Bravo? The angular-faced one said. The dark-skinned guy he was with snickered and nudged him. Webb, you need to stop tripping, man, Bravo said. Tookie bristled and turned away.
Oops, sorry. Bravo stepped closer to Tookie. The Belladonna wanted us to clear away some of these dead trees for a better view of the new stadium. Didn't mean to get you. There. It's got this weird comma. Yeah. Like, as if he's, like, moving, like, out of the... I don't know.
There needs to be some sort of separation. Didn't mean to get you, period. Mm-hmm. He stepped forward and brushed something off her. There. You know.
Yeah.
It needs to be separated.
I don't know.
Severely.
Tookie noticed his irises were a familiar salted caramel color. Try not to swoon, she told herself. You're not into pretty boys, remember? Especially ones who are training to become male models.
What about the one dude that she described as a pretty boy that she was really into? Whatever his name. Theophilus.
Theophilus, yeah.
Yeah. What about Theophilus with also the caramel colored eyes? Like, Tyra does have a type, apparently. Caramel colored eyes.
Then Bravo lightly patted Tookie's hair clean of dust and gingerly plucked a small shard of wood stuck to her bottom lip. Okay.
What? How?
This just, like, is all over the place. She's like, go away. And, like, has no interest. And, like, he's like, oh, I'm sorry I'm, like, getting, like, dirt and stuff all over you. Let me step closer. Sure. Yeah. And then he, like, says, like, there, without doing an action. But then we get the action later. That's so just set up
badly done. How big are her lips that something fell onto them and, like, hung there? A chunk of wood or whatever.
He plucked a piece of a small shard of wood. So it's not just a small shard of wood, it's a piece of a small shard of wood. So it's probably like an itty bitty speck.
The latest excuse to be like, let me touch your lips and your face. Yeah. How can I get him to touch her? Oh, she's gonna have wood on her lips, I guess.
The order of this should have been reversed, where he does that and is like too close for comfort. And then she's like, no, go away. And then be like, try not to swoon. Just ignore this. You're not into this.
Yep.
Like, this is too close for comfort. It should have been, like, ordered like that instead of her just being kind of, like, rude to him.
Yeah.
Without us seeing why. And then, meanwhile, she's like, try not to swoon. And then we get his action.
I don't get it.
I think it could have been set up a little bit better.
For sure.
His thumb touched both of her lips, then entered her mouth just a bit.
Whoa!
Oh, boundaries!
That's like almost like the scene that I've been dreading that was in the trailer that was on America's Next Top Model.
He removed the last traces of chipped wood, but his thumb lingered between her lips and made a slight contact with her tongue.
No! You don't know this man! I changed my mind. I don't like him anymore.
Oh no! Here's the part. Tookie wanted to bite down hard on his hand to teach him a lesson, to not touch her like that. But instead, she closed her lips on his thumb, locking it inside her mouth, her body betraying her.
What the hell is going on? I don't like...
What?
This is creepy.
So is this the scene you're thinking of from the promotional video.
But in the promotional video, they're like sitting on a beach, like under this alcove, and it's like all romantic. She's like brushing her lip, and then she like literally like lunges at his thumb and sucks on it.
Hi, Tookie.
Hi, Bravo.
And then gives this like little look at him, like, that's not what's going on right here. This is way, like, both are creepy.
Maybe it will
this
happen
is way
again.
weirder. Oh my god. It's gonna, isn't it? It'll be
This
something.
is the weirdest thing.
It's so weird. What? Just like in between, she's rushing to her next class.
Yeah.
Dylan's standing right there.
Oh, Dylan and Shiraz, and I think also Piper.
I can't wait till they torment her for this later. Like, what are you doing?
What the hell?
Stop sticking thumbs in girls' mouths and stop sucking
And
on
also,
them.
if Tookie wants to be like, well, I'm just gonna make this awkward to teach him a lesson, that's not what it looks like. It just looks weird and uncomfortable.
It's making me so uncomfortable.
Like, this is so strange.
I don't
Tookie, no. Tookie, no.
What is going on? I strongly dislike this book.
She smelled him. A mixture of tree bark, sweat, and blood orange, and felt the heat of his sweating body sail towards her. Her knees wobbled, her heart started to flutter, and she felt a warmth gush through her core.
Is it just me, or does sweat not smell good?
No!
It doesn't. It stinks, right? Maybe to somebody that's to me, I'd be like, oh no, dude, no. Good thing I didn't put my mouth around your thumb. That would have been awkward.
You don't know where those thumbs have been.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's probably sweaty.
And full of dirt. He's holding, like, they've been pulling out, like, dead trees, so it's all dirty, too. Anyway, one corner of Bravo's mouth curled into a crooked smile. Do I taste good?
No! No! No!
Tookie realized what she was doing and released his thumb. She didn't even know this guy. What had gotten into her? She glanced at her friends. To her horror, they were trying to contain their laughter.
Oh,
They
no,
all
I
had
think
their
Steve-
thumbs in their mouths, playfully mocking her.
I think, like, if one of the people in our friend group did this, I don't think I'd be laughing. I think I'd just be, like, so uncomfortable. I would have turned away.
I would
and,
so
like,
much
walked
rather
off.
sit there and, like, have, like, watch, like, friends, like, make out in the corner.
Oh,
would
yeah.
be less awkward than this.
Yeah, making out's fine. Stop sucking on each other's appendages. Like, that's just
This is weird.
so weird.
Especially, he's a stranger. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't even, she thinks she doesn't even like him.
It would be somewhat understandable if they were in an established relationship and, like, that was thought as, like, a sexy thing. But the fact that they don't know each other makes us so incredibly uncomfortable. So weird. Tyra.
Plus, like, her friends are, like, right there, like, what the hell are you doing? Tookie turned back to Bravo. Hi, she said awkwardly, as if she hadn't been speaking with him the last few minutes. Hi, he said back, breaking into the lopsided
Tyra
smile
doesn't
again.
even know where to go with this anymore.
The hairs on the backs of Tookie's thighs stood up.
What? You were waxed down, girl. Why is there hair there?
Also,
Why-
did those stand up?
Why are those hair specific? Like the hair on your arms? Yes, that would show nervousness or
on
fear.
the backs of Tookie's
But on the
thighs
backs
stood
of your thighs,
What?
like, is this supposed to be arousal? Like on the backs of your? I don't think
so.
Why on the back of your thighs and not on your arms?
Oh no. Okay.
No.
We have to run, she said, but her feet were planted in place. And then, suddenly, 3 figures tumbled out from behind the stadium. Bravo's Vestastro friends, Webb, Alexander, and a guy named O'Neill.
Hi, O'Neill.
Well, looky here, Webb shouted in a nasty, oily voice. I don't know how to say
no,
that, but
that's fine.
Alexander made slurping, kissing noises. O'Neill thrust his hips forward lewdly like a humping dog.
What? Oh,
The 3 of them laughed, their handsome faces twisted and callous.
the hell?
See, this is like, that is the least awkward part of the rest of this.
Yeah, but still, I am so incredibly uncomfortable.
Tookie, you're the one that made this uncomfortable, Tookie.
Oh,
This is all your
jeez.
fault.
Yikes.
Tookie stepped away. She could feel their mocking, disparaging stares all over her. See you, not later, Bravo, she muttered. Tookie, wait. But Tookie didn't turn around. Come on, she hissed to her friends. Let's get out of here. Pretty boy kooky over Tookie and want her nookie, Shiraz said sexily to Tookie as they jogged away. How did you say that sexily?
Imagine the little Snow White, like, little voice.
Pretty boy kooky over Tookie and want her nookie. I don't know.
So freaking Tyra. You have friends that are girls, right? You have international friends that are girls, right? How many of them speak like this? Come on!
You sound like chaste, Tookie reprimanded, not laughing back. Deep down, she felt flushed, overwhelmed, confused. His thumb entering my mouth. Yuck.
Yeah.
Was that all just a joke? Or something more? Okay, Tookie. She's the one that made that. Okay, well, first of all, okay. Bravo makes it awkward where he's just like, let me just like reach out, like touch your face and like put like my like thumb on your lips and tongue. That is weird. Yeah. That's really weird and crosses a lot of boundaries for he doesn't know this person.
Right.
She doesn't know him. She obviously does not like him. This will not help. Except, look what the book taught us. It does.
Let me repaint the scene for you, okay? She's got wood chips and stuff all over her, and she's got like a speck of dust on her cheek. And he reaches out, uses his thumb, wipes her cheek. An endearing moment. Starts to build a legit relationship between the two of them. And the dudes could still make fun of them.
Yeah, and it would be, they could have come out and been like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
That, and like, you totally could have like done the thing like brush away something from their cheek and like just have it like his hand linger there. And it would be 1,000 times less awkward.
It would be cute.
And all the friends would be like, ooh.
Like they could still tease her and not have it be unbearably uncomfortable.
Yep. I think that Tyra was aiming to be different, but this just does not sit well with me. This is just like awkward, creepy, uncomfortable awkward. Not good.
Again, this is a time I'd be like, just use the trope. Please just use the trope.
Then thought we were starting to see that Tookie has like more of a character, could make choices, could talk to people, can get angry at people. And now she's like, I don't like him, I'm walking away, and then she just stands there and lets it happen. I don't like this at all.
I'm so uncomfortable. This could have been done so many other ways.
The three guy friends, like, coming out from around the corner are 1,000 times less awkward than the prior part of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 times less awkward.
Yep.
There's, like, a good way to have a character relationship, like, start off very awkward and have it done well, where it's not uncomfortable for the reader. I will, like, look at Pride and Prejudice, where the first time where Elizabeth meets Mr. Darcy, she overhears him say, like, kind of a snide comment about herself. So she's like, well, you know, you're really handsome, but I don't like you because you're kind of a jerk. And then they keep getting forced into, like, the most awkward situations where they keep running into each other. And so you have those awkward moments, but it's not awkward like this. And it's funny because the reader can see both characters' like thoughts as they progress and keep like laughing at how awkward the situations these characters find themselves in. But it's awkward and not uncomfortable.
It's not cringy.
It's not cringy. It doesn't make the reader uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's like the difference. That's where it's like an awkward start off on the wrong foot. That's how you do it well. This is not it. No. And now we are back to our M break.
Why?
Which I don't know why it's there. It obviously doesn't show passage of time because the book just does what it wants.
It just does what it wants. Why do we even need the symbol?
After a meal in the E, the other girls took a bathroom break and Tookie wandered out to Beautification Boulevard and studied her new schedule. Then she felt a hand tap her shoulder. Certain it was Bravo again, she spun around. But it was Bibiana, her hair wet from her morning shower. She peered at Tookie. Do you understand these clocks at all? They're making me go in circles like I'm doing some crazy samba number. Tookie blinked at the girl for a moment. She was still caught off guard when someone actually approached her as though she wasn't invisible. Especially someone as gorgeous as this girl, who's even lovelier than Miracle. Tookie turned and looked at the Kaleido clock. The hand was just past orange. My schedule says my next class, WOW, is at 5 past vermilion, Bibiana said.
Why are we using numbers? It's all supposed to be color. Why are there numbers involved? This just makes me mad because
I think this is like, yeah, I don't know.
Didn't have a way to like.
I think this is like, I think Bibiana's the only one throwing in like numbers because she doesn't know like how the hell to tell time, because telling time by colors is stupid and weird.
Stupid.
You haven't established a number system.
Why not use it? Why do we use color? Because it's imaginative and creative and wacky and whimsical. No, it's not. It's frustrating.
I'm picturing though, like, the clock being like just a hue of like rainbow colors.
See, now,
so like as it starts getting like towards like, let's say like a red, maybe that's like, oh, like 5 after. Yeah. I don't know.
Like I would hope that it would at least be set up that way. But Hermie's like, it's probably just like sporadic colors, so that you can tell that there's a definite difference in time.
I don't know. But Bibiana says it perfectly when she continues. 5 past vermilion? What does that mean? Tookie still struggled with telling time at Modelland. Wonder why.
Yeah.
But for once, she wasn't alone. None of the new Bellas could make heads or tails of the colorful Modelland clocks. If one person doesn't get it, that's a flaw in, like, the person. If everyone doesn't get it, that's a problem with the system.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bad question on a math test. When everyone gets it wrong, there's something going on where the question wasn't worded correctly or it wasn't taught the way it was supposed to be taught. Those are the questions you throw out. This color clock is something that should have been thrown out. For the first time in Modelland history, the entire class had to partake in an impromptu remedial lesson on the workings of the Kaleido clock timekeepers. Taught by head hand guru Obsesses. The lesson was meant to last an hour, but the girls had struggled so badly that it dragged on for 5.5.
Oh, jeez.
Even after the class and a private tutoring session from Piper, Tookie felt just as clueless about the timekeepers as the day she had arrived at Modelland. 5 past vermilion? I don't have a clue, Tookie admitted. Okay, really though, it shouldn't be this hard.
No.
All you do is memorize like, okay, 1 means red, 2 means orange, or
yeah.
Just assign your numbers or assign the color to the appropriate corresponding number.
Right. Like, you should know, these characters are all in their teens. They should know how time passes and how clocks work. So, like, I get that the color adds confusion, but when you just try to come up with corresponding colors with numbers, it should take you less than 5 hours to figure it out.
It's like learning colors in another language. It's like, yeah, you might kind of like struggle to remember it at first, but like eventually, like if you keep using them, you'll know colors in other languages.
You know what's great is Tyra herself hasn't explained how this color thing works. She doesn't even have it set up. She's just like, well, there's this color clock. It's really confusing.
Unless the numbers don't match up and aren't in like set like intervals, like you're like 5, 10, 15, 20. What if it's like 1 is like a red and like 7 becomes your orange and then like 13 is your yellow and 14 is green? What if it was something like that?
I don't even think Tyra knows how it's set up. I guarantee she's just like, how can I make this clock whimsical? Color's whimsy.
No.
I don't know how it works, but it's colors for time.
Because if there's no rules, just why? That's just inefficient and stupid.
It's so stupid.
But if it's just like a color that corresponds with a number, girls, you should get this.
Right. I get the initial confusion, but 3 months plus a 5-hour class.
Oh, it's been 4 months now, remember?
Oh, that's right.
4 months. 5 past vermilion? I don't have a clue, Tookie admitted. Tookie was going to WOW, War of Words, too. So they walked there together. That's phrase so weird. Tookie was going to WOW, War of Words, too. So they walked there together. It just needs to be broken up a little bit different with their commas. It reads weird. It looks weird on the page, too.
I'm so excited for this class about words, because Tyra's really good at using words.
Soon the girls stood below the gigantic windowless rose gold metal ball that was labeled the War of Words Magnetosphere. The shiny sphere hovered 30 feet above the ground, with no visible means of support. How do we get in there? Tookie asked. Okay, have you never had this class before?
Apparently not. They got new classes.
Oh, that's right. That's why. She was going to look at her new schedule.
Yep.
That's right. Good point. Let's wait for the guinea pig to show us, Bibiana suggested. Hopefully that won't take long, said Piper, coming up behind them. She had fashioned the umbrella she had been given as soon as they'd landed in Modelland into a unique couture-like hat.
Is that couture?
How did she get an umbrella? Is it like how Tookie got like the one no, because the person
100% is just completely random. Or is it because she's so white? She has.
It might just be like that.
Yeah.
It shaded her entire face. Yet again, simply by the way she stood, shoulders rolled back, chin up, her eyes mysterious yet intense, she could have been an unusual Intoxibella in a high-fashion advertisement. The girls watched as Beau, the emotionless Bella, walked directly beneath the ball and stood there. Within a few seconds, she was swiftly propelled upward into the ball.
Okay. Why? Because we can.
Why are there foreign words? Belisa! Bibiana cried excitedly. Let's try that! Tookie, Bibiana, and Piper walked up to the ball. After a minute, Tookie felt a pull as if a giant magnet was dragging her upward. The other girls were yanked up as well. The magnetic attraction made their bodies go limp. Tookie felt like a marionette. When they were mere inches from the bottom of the magnetosphere, a circle slid open and sucked them inside a perfectly round room that was the same rose gold color as the exterior. Girls were standing nervously on a stage that followed the contour of the sphere. Tookie spotted Shiraz and Dylan and grinned. She also noticed the 4 Laiki sisters as well as Zizi. Over the past weeks, Zizi's wrath towards Tookie had only gotten worse.
Good.
One night, Zizi had used her Centura to make Tookie's hand-drawn image on her bedspread attempt to strangle her.
What? How? Why?
What? So she's lifting up, remember all their bedspreads have, the drawing of, each other, or of, the...
Yeah.
They're
owner. SpongeBob dudes.
So Zizi's using her Centura to perform magic, I'm assuming, to make, the drawing come to life and try and strangle Tookie.
Do you think that'd be something, to disqualify somebody?
You would think.
But Tookie's not
She
gonna
won't
report
say
it
anything.
because she's scared of her? This girl's trying to she's gonna kill you already. What's the matter if you report her? Come on.
No one but Zizi had been in the room at the time, so Tookie had no proof of what had occurred. Tookie had had to punch her own image in the face, knocking her bed sketch out cold. There are no rules to this magic. None.
None. This is a lawless world. I hate it. This is why you have to have rules for magic.
At least some sort of guidelines. Or,
Something.
have it, follow some sort of, I could understand if the Centura is, only worked with illusion magic. I could totally understand that. You could create any illusion and, say Zizi had just made Tookie think that this is what the bedspread was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how this was presented.
No, there has to be some sort of rule system, and it has to be beyond you need an item to do magic. It needs to be one step further, and here are the things that this item can do. It can't be,
Yeah.
this item is an all-powerful magic item we've just given to a teenager.
Yep. Don't make eye contact with her, Tookie said to herself now. It kind of reminded her of what Creamy had said about Wingtip. Tookie wondered what Creamy was doing right now. It felt like she'd been at Modelland for so long. Miracle must be preparing for next year's T-Dot already, and Creamy had probably renovated the kitchen 19 times. 2 metal podiums stood at the center of the circular stage. There was a table in the middle that held small metal tags stamped with plus and minus signs. On one side of the sphere's curved wall was an immense green-lit plus sign. A red minus sign illuminated the other. Around the room, necklaces, rings, buckles, and other metal objects were stuck to the walls. A set of miniature railroad tracks adhered to the shiny surface too. When Tookie got closer, she realized they were orthodontic braces. Are you calling them railroad? They don't really look like railroad tracks. What? Whatever. Tookie's mouth fell open as she stared at the bizarre wall. Suddenly, she felt a tugging sensation in one of her back right molars. Something dislodged from her tooth and shot out of her mouth before she could stop it.
Okay.
Clink! A piece of metal slammed against the wall. Oh, wow! Cool! Beans! The Likey sisters exclaimed in their odd one-word per girl speech. Her tooth fillings stuck!
How? Like, that would hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. I would
Big
think.
time hurt. Also, they took her to a dentist? Like, the girl they don't love, like,
I
they paid
mean,
for fillings for her? Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, they still cared for her and fed her.
Still.
Kid needs braces, or not braces, but like fillings. Your kid needs fillings. Like, they didn't necessarily abuse her physically or anything, but like emotionally, they were not kind.
Yeah,
It's like
just-
a passive emotional abuse.
Yeah.
But still, like, they're not like mistreating her physically or anything, or like depriving her of like stuff.
I don't know.
Tookie curled her tongue towards her back tooth. Sure enough, her filling was gone. Could be gold amalgam, the Likey said, staring up at the filling. Hard deciphering from here. Looks like the fraud quad has their eyes on your filling, Piper murmured to Tookie under her breath. She, Tookie, Dylan, and Shiraz had begun to notice that the Likey sisters liked to claim things that weren't theirs as their own, hence their new nickname. Other girls began to lose pieces of metal from their bodies. A gold anklet whipped off of Chase's ankle. Bibiana lost a pair of stud earrings. Tookie felt a pull at her chest. Oh no, she thought. The wall wanted her pin. The pin.
Uh-oh.
The ceiling yanked the TOOKE button from underneath her garden brooch. It sailed upward and clinked onto the wall. Okay, what if you have like a metal rod in your leg or something
Ouch,
bad,
yeah.
like some sort of like a metal plate put in your arm
Yep.
from like if you broke a bone? What would happen then?
Ouch. Apparently, teeth fillings aren't safe from this.
I guess not. And like they were all told they could keep something from home. What if that
Yeah.
was the only thing they had? Oh, maybe they can get it back.
I don't know what's going on now.
Wait, so the braces that are against the wall, did those get ripped off of someone's teeth?
Probably. It's a wonder there's not still teeth in them. Like,
How does
they-
this magic work?
the braces are freaking cemented to your teeth, which are bones. I'm thinking because they need special tools to remove them by teeth.
Tookie broke her rule of refraining from eye contact and snuck a peek at Zarpessa, who was lifting her chin up to the ceiling at just that moment. Why? She's not going to recognize the stupid button. She's probably forgotten all about Theophilus, to be
No,
honest.
probably not.
I feel like that would just be as easy. Simultaneously, Tookie felt another tug on her chest. Her plant brooch shot upward too, landing precisely on top of the button. Whew! The odd tendrilled sprout was beginning to become a bit of a lifesaver. Then Chase turned to Zizi. Yesterday in the E, I heard some older Bellas say that someone named Matt Joe, one word. Matt Joe von Megalo. Matt Joe von Megalo.
Von Megalo. Not Joe Von Megalo.
Matt Joe von Megalo. I heard some of the older Bellas say that someone named Matt Joe von Megalo teaches this class. Von Megalo. What?
Oh, jeez.
Von Megalo. She stretched the name out like taffy. I'm calling firsties, so all you chicks better let go my megalo. It's not funny, it just comes off as like weird.
And I don't know if that's just because we have dirty minds or after the beginning of this chapter, our minds have been dirtied. Like, I don't.
Well, like, it is, like, creepy, like, sleeping with teachers. That's creepy.
Yeah. That's
Creepy.
Has to be what she's implying.
Oh, yes. That is definitely what Chase is implying, but at that moment, the circle entrance opened up in the floor once more. A troll of a man entered. He was balding on the left side of his head, and he walked like a seal scoots when on land.
Nice. Have at it, Chase.
Chase leaned around her. What the hell is that? Okay. Chase leaned around. Her likey.
That's the one girl's name. It's one of the likey girls' names.
One word?
Yeah,
Her likey?
They're like her likey, she likey, me likey, or whatever. They like. I don't remember their names, but her likey is one of the likey sisters. One word.
Chase leaned around her likey to get a good look. Oh, mega hell no, she yelled. How have you not been kicked out? Aren't the teachers going to be annoyed with you?
She's sleeping with them.
The troll man was dressed impeccably. He wore an expensive-looking suit, complete with a man couture ascot and freshly shined chestnut-brown boots. He ignored Chase's remark and looked cagily around the room. Everyone is here. Yep, very good, very good. His voice was nasal and high-pitched. He could barely make eye contact with girls. Hello, my dear Bellas. My name is Matjo von Meglo, he continued. Yep, Guru Matjo. I don't know. How the hell did you do that voice?
Guru. I can't do it.
I don't know.
You gotta like kind of plunge your nose and like Guru.
Yep,
Von Megalo.
Guru Matjo.
Guru Von Gigolo. Like.
Yep, Guru Matjo. He bowed and rocked on his heels. I will be your humble general as we engage in WOW, a war of words. He proceeded to scoot walk towards Chase, stumbling over his own feet. Tookie smiled slightly. He reminded her of herself. You will learn how to use words to convince, to charm, to soothe, and to strike and destroy.
Okay.
All in caps. Destroy the arguments of anyone standing in your way. And I don't mean the way thespian dames do, ladies. Just reciting lines from cue cards and crying on command. What do they have against actors?
Yeah, jeez, Tyra. Come on.
I mean, doing so with Modelland conviction. Again, all caps. I don't know what else to do with this.
That's
it's not even like italicized like
it just,
emphasis. It's all caps.
All caps. That's Tyra's favorite thing is she doesn't like italic. She loves capitalization.
The guru delivered his little speech without looking at any of them, but that last bit was spoken with a torrent of emotion. Sorry. Matjo ducked his head meekly. I'm usually not aggressive. I must have learned it from my friend at
sure?
Testosterone. Bravo. Yep. Uh-oh. Okay, whatever. We don't know who the hell Bravo is, I guess. We have heard nothing else about him except this.
So for all we know, he's some 25-year-old hitting on a 15-year-old. That's how much we know about this man.
Yep. He laughed like an out-of-breath hyena.
I don't know what that sounds like.
He has friends at Testosterone, Chase whispered to She Likey. Yeah, right. Bravo? An unwanted, excited shiver rippled through Tookie. Bravo was coming up all sorts of ways that day. She thought again about his thumb in her mouth, trying to make sense of what had happened. Was there something she should have done differently? Yes!
How about not suck on his thumb?
Acted seductive like Chase. No. Snide like Zarpessa. You kind of were, and not necessarily. Even confident and sassy like Dylan. You tried and failed.
Yeah.
Instead, she just stood there, sucking and sucking like a baby. Why, Tookie?
What is going on in Tyra's head? I don't know. I'm also scared that she's like drawing upon real life experience. That makes me even more concerned.
A fine boy by the name of Bravo, who I'm kind of like inspired by the guy that I had my first kiss with. Yes, Bravo.
I hope for her sake, no. That would just be so awkward. Matjo deployed a small mirror and a miniature ruler, measured the space between his eyebrows and the width of his lips, jotted something in a small notebook, then quickly returned the items to his pocket. Now, where was I? The class. Yep. This is War of Words. In your previous lives, you may have called it debate. Today, I will begin by observing your natural skills, and from there, I will mold your use of language so that you are, skilled artisans. He's teaching you language and he uses I'm sorry, I'm just going to rant about this for a minute. If he's talking about how you're supposed to use your words for debating and sounding more intelligent, you're not supposed to say you're not supposed to say like. That's when you listen to really good speakers, they don't say that. They don't use those words. They know what they're going to say. They've practiced prior. And they just don't use those. They've like kind of weeded it out of their speech the best they can in like everyday lives to try and avoid saying it when they're in front of people and being nervous and might be more nervous. So why is he saying he's going to mold their use of language and then he uses multiple times? I will mold your use of language so that you are skilled artisans. Bellas, this is the most important class you'll ever take at Modelland. Why? Well, as Intoxibellas, you must master the art of speaking about the products you are hired to represent. Yup. You must clearly convey your love and use of them, whether you adore the item or actually detest it. The job of an Intoxibella is not necessarily to love the products you sell, but to make your public become more enamored with them. I don't know how it actually is for like real life models, but I'm assuming there's probably a lot of reading off of like cue cards.
Oh, 100%. Most Modelland people do it.
Instead of reading from a script, you're going to be reading cold on a prompt. Hi, Michelle here, and Telecolor is the name of the game. Can you say magenta? Magenta? Chartreuse.
More than actual actors and actresses that memorize their lines.
Yeah.
I don't know what they have against.
Shade? I don't.
What do they have against like actors and actresses? And like, as a model, you're gonna have to do that to some level for acting in
100%.
commercials and a bunch of other stuff.
100%.
Gosh. Tookie immediately thought of chocolate. She couldn't imagine having to eat it and then smile and lie about loving it. Just thinking about it made a bit of throw up creep into the back of her throat.
Thanks.
So let's have a little fun first, shall we? Guru Matt Joe said, his nose twitching like he was about to sneeze. It's always nice to start off with a fun and frivolous topic. Anyone have any ideas? Anything at all? No one volunteered. Nothing's off limits. Yep. Guru Matt Joe said. If he says yep one more time, I'm gonna scream, Dylan whispered in Tookie's ear. I have an idea. Chase's hand shot up. How about we debate free swing versus firm sling? A few girls jiggled.
A few girls jiggled?
No, ignore that.
Uh-huh.
A few girls giggled. Matt Joe scratched his bald spot confused. Flakes of dandruff fell off on his shoulders. Do you wish to debate the merits of different types of hammocks? Kind of. Chase seductively twirled a piece of hair around her finger. Hammocks for honkers. The giggles persisted. Matt Joe remained just as perplexed. Bra versus no bra, Tookie wanted to yell out to spare him the embarrassment. But Chase just kept going. You know, bazookas, cha-chas, chesticles. No one calls them that!
She's literally called them everything but what things are called. Oh dear.
Okay, then you go over there. Guru Matt Joe pointed Chase to the side of the room with the green plus sign. You're free swing. And you. He pointed to Shiraz as if his fingers were a pistol. You're a firm sling. Shiraz hurried to the minus side of the room. I'm ready!
Are we really gonna debate this right now?
Matt Joe hobbled onto a stool. You see the metal tags on the table? Chase, please apply a plus sign to your forehead, and Shiraz a minus sign. I think that the plus sign would be more appropriate on Dylan's buttocks, Zizi trilled, eyeing Dylan.
I just...
Ugh.
Okay, why is she being so vicious about this? Like, isn't that a thing that a lot of girls and women crave, is to, like, have a round butt? Like, why
I
are
think
they
it's
giving her
because
such-
Dylan's actually, like, very heavier set. So, and Zizi, I think Zizi, to try and make, like, everyone ignore whatever flaws she herself has, she's
Yeah.
trying to, like, direct everyone's, like, derision towards someone else.
That would make sense.
And she's using that probably as, like, a self-defense mechanism because she's so uncomfortable with her own, I'm assuming, her past and, like, what she's had to go through.
Yeah.
So if she can be, like, the, essentially, like, the mean girls and, like, the, like, leader of, like, clique, then she won't be the one that's left out. Dylan's mouth fell open, but Tookie reached over and squeezed her hand. Since their arrival at Modelland, Zizi had been making all kinds of jabs like that at all four of them. The girl is a bully strategist, Tookie thought. She knows to not just attack the enemy, but to hit those the enemy cares about, too. Each girl gets one statement. No rebuttal. Yup, the guru said. Ready? Shiraz and Chaste nodded. The Centuras on Chaste and Shiraz's waist slid off and bound their wrists to each other like fabric handcuffs. Neither looked happy with this new development. Free swing versus firm sling. Proceed, Matt Joe said. To bra or not to bra? That is the question, Chaste started. A resounding clap of electricity echoed through the sphere, and Chaste and Shiraz's foreheads were magnetically drawn toward each other. The girls tried to fight the force, but it was no use. In seconds, their faces were mere inches apart.
Oh, good.
Shiraz shot a frantic look at Guru Matjo. Stay in the moment, ladies, he said. Focus on your opponent, yup. Opposing sides can both attract and repel depending on their position. From the force that seems to be pulling you towards each other now, you are truly on conflicting sides of this matter. With magnets, remember, opposites attract. Positive, go. Now. What?
It doesn't make any sense.
So, the more you disagree, the closer you're brought together. So they want you to, like, essentially, quite literally, butt heads.
Yeah.
But, so, do you want, is it supposed to be, like, their words are drawing you into a fight, and you're supposed to, like, figure out a way to, like, either smooth things over, or, like, get people to agree to your side so you fall back farther away? I feel like it should be the opposite.
Yeah, I'm confused about how this science works.
This is a lawless place.
It's such a lawless
Even the
land.
laws of physics don't apply.
Nope.
And the laws of sense are definitely not
They're
here.
gone. They don't exist here.
Chaste inhaled deeply, exhaled slowly, and began. The melon fruit is one to be supremely relished, a sweet treat one should enjoy in its pure rawness, without a fork to spear its tender flesh, or a napkin to sop up the luscious juice that drips from our chins. Honeydews, cantaloupes, cassavas, Crenshaws, muskmelons, and watermelons. Best appreciated without the interference of objects created by man's hands. Matt Joe's face was very red. He turned to Shiraz. Okay, your turn. Shiraz cleared her throat, seeming a little knocked off her game. Then she launched into a song. The boobies high and tight on me. Everyone laughed. My nobbies pert and firm, agree? But forever young they will not be. No brothel sag with gravity. I regret everything.
I regret. We just set this down and call it a night. Like,
why is this a part of the book? It's so weird. It's like not even funny. It's just weird.
like, why does this even need to be a debate? It's because
They're not even.
it's not like one rule to rule them all. It's very much like You do you, man.
The entire class launched into thunderous applause, because they're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Zizi even lifted her hands to start clapping, but she lowered them quickly. Silence fell over the room. Chase offered a passionate argument, Nat Joe said. She used food as a metaphor for, yep. But she may have skewed to a more testosterone-laden audience. Shiraz, on the other hand, had a lyrical presentation that used both humor and logic, which appealed to her target audience. Thusly, I declare the winner to be... Suddenly, the circle opened up in the floor. 2 figures rose through it. The first figure was Persimmon. She held onto a second figure, who was bound and gagged. Tookie gasped. Can you guess who
Wow,
it is?
I have no clue who it is, C tilde L.
C tilde L.
Wow!
The fallen 777 had a muzzle over her mouth. Her normally caramel-colored skin was pale, and she wore a baggy gray jumpsuit with a metal zipper up the front. On the back of the jumpsuit, the words "Ugly Room" were scrawled in large black letters. Persimmon stood at attention. By order of the most beloved of the beloved, the most esteemed of the worthy, the definer of all things beautiful, and the leader of all those lucky enough to be led, C tilde L is delivered to the war of words magnetosphere. C tilde L turned her head away in shame. Tookie felt a lump in her throat. What had C tilde L done? She comes here because keeping her at Modelland has not been enough, Persimmon recited. She has continued to spout her insolent, disrespectful, heinous messages and vile verbiage that has denigrated all we stand for. And so, as in an attempt to truly get through to her so that she understands the hideousness of her actions, we must step things up a notch. Today, C tilde L is returning to her roots to be... Persimmon paused dramatically. A first-year Bella. A no-C. Everyone gasped, including Zizi and Chase. Even Matt Joe looked uncomfortable.
Why?
So that Tookie can spend more time with C tilde L.
Because otherwise, yeah, if you're going to keep her locked up, you're not going to see her, so here's how we fix it. We just make it her first year.
Persimmon poked C tilde L's shoulder. The belladonna commands you to remove the ugly suit. C tilde L swallowed hard. Slowly, she unzipped the jumpsuit. It dropped to the floor in a dingy pile. Everyone gasped again. Underneath the jumpsuit was a green Modelland Bella uniform. But it was too small, bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
Great. Now I know what Guru Gennaro means when he calls her body girl, Zizi hooted. Persimmon gazed at the Bellas. Today, C tilde L is on the same level as all of you, beneath you, actually, as you're in your second quadmester, and she is in her first. The belladonna has commanded that she return to her Bella ways of yesteryear, when she complied with the rules of authority. After this course, she will return to the ugly room for more shock treatments.
Cool.
Because those work.
Cool. Why are we treating our own, triple, 7 like this?
Because they can't control her, and they don't like that.
Why even make that a goal to shoot for if they're going to become overpowered?
Persimmon, is this all really necessary?
Yes.
Guru Matt Joe asked, looking pityingly at C tilde L. To do this to a girl who was so far ahead of everyone in my class not too long ago, to make her suffer so? Then he spied a belladonna bust across the sphere and straightened up. Of course, I assume the esteemed Madame Belladonna has her reasons for doing this. It was as though the belladonna was in the room with them. Maybe she was. C tilde L poses a risk to herself and to all of us, Persimmon said. She must be reformed by any means necessary. The mannequin stepped up to C tilde L and removed the muzzle. Little droplets of blood oozed from the corner of C tilde L's mouth.
Jeez.
Zizi snickered. Wow, the famed Intoxibella is slumming it with the no-sees. You know all about slumming it, don't you, Zizi?
Uh-huh. What would you call it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Tookie whipped around, filled with rage. Yeah, well, you're no stranger to slumming it yourself, she snapped.
Good!
Before she could stop herself.
Get her, Tookie! Get her! I've never been more proud of you.
Zizi's eyes blazed. Uh-oh, Tookie thought. You've done it now.
No, don't
And
worry.
anyway, Tilda L is crazy. Why did you even defend her? At least, I think she's crazy. Because she's being abused and tortured. That's why you defended her. It was a good thing, Tookie.
When has Tookie ever indicated that she herself thought C. Tilda L was crazy?
Well, you know, when she saw her in the one room, like, whipping herself or whatever it was,
Yeah,
like,
but like,
I don't know if you... Well, yeah, I guess Tookie's probably very confused about that.
yeah, but
yeah.
like, she's treating her like everybody else is treating her at this point.
Listen, you crazy-eyed, watermelon-headed freak who's only here for a Modelland sacrificial science project. Stop, Matt Joe intervened. Save the passion for the war of words. Persimmon spoke. Make sure C. Tilda L is assigned the argument that will aid her best in reform, the one that will please the belladonna most. The circle on the floor opened once more, and Persimmon disappeared. Matt Joe faced the girls and cleared his throat. Sorry for the interruption, fellas. Let's continue where we left off. Okay, then. I guess the next debaters have chosen themselves. You there, he pointed at Tookie.
Mhm.
And you, he pointed at Zizi. Oh, I can't wait, Zizi growled, striding up to the podium confidently, her shoulders thrown back and her head high. Tookie froze, petrified. She couldn't debate Zizi. There was no way. She peeked over at C. Tilda L, who was no longer staring at the floor, but directly at Dylan in the same spooky, hypnotized way she'd gazed at Shiraz during the very first runaway class. She started moving her mouth, chanting inaudibly. Her body rocked steadily. Okay, yeah, she does seem a little more out of it.
Okay, sure.
She's practically foaming at the mouth, Zizi whispered from the podium, eyeing C. Tilda L. All right, Matt Joe said. He looked at his roster. Tookie versus Zizi. But let's add another ingredient. Partners.
Why?
Of course.
Why? So that C. Tilda L can be included?
Yep. He extended his arm again, looking down on it like he was aiming a rifle. At first he set his sights on Chaste, but then he decided to continue hunting. He spun around and brightened at C. Tilda L. Bang! He yelled. C. Tilda L joins Zarpessa.
Good God.
C. Tilda L just stared at him catatonically. Matt Joe looked nervously around the room. C. Tilda L, she's probably watching you, he said in a whisper, clearly meaning the belladonna. You used to ace this course in your sleep. Just get it done. C. Tilda L snapped out of her trance and walked to the podium. Then Guru Matt Joe turned to Dylan. And, the recently attacked should have a chance to have her say as well against her, oppressor, Dylan. Please join Tookie. Dylan reluctantly climbed up the steps. She gave Tookie's hand a nervous squeeze. Matt Joe pointed at C. Tilda L and Zarpessa. The topic for this last debate is going to be unusual physicality versus defined beauty. You two will argue that atypical features are superior to conventional beauty. Are you sure? C. Tilda L looked skeptical. That's exactly the opposite of what you know she wants. C. Tilda L peered at the belladonna bust across the room. The guru ignored her, turning next to Tookie and Dylan. The guru ignored her, turning next to Tookie and Dylan. And your team will argue for narrowly defined beauty and that anything else is absolutely worthless.
Okay.
Like the kind of defining we do here at Modelland.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so cool. So he's actually making Zizi argue against what Zizi believes.
Yep.
And testing her to see if she can come up with a good argument. So good.
Good.
This is a good practice.
Yep.
Like,
Why do we need teams? I don't know.
I don't know.
But sure.
But it is weird, though, that he put C. Tilda L on Zizi's team, if that's what he wants them to debate, which, like C. Tilda L just said, that's like the opposite of what the belladonna wants from her.
Yeah.
This should be easy, Tookie thought. All she has to do was... Haha! Spelling error!
Nice.
All she has to do was concentrate on Miracle's perfect face and speak from her soul. I believe you mean had. Because you can't... She switches tense.
Uh-huh.
Because she thought, which is past, and then all she has to do is present,
Yep.
and was concentrate is past again. Glaring grammatical error. Cannot do.
Yeah.
Did the editors just quit?
Nobody obviously read this out loud.
They probably skimmed it.
100% nobody read it out loud.
It looks weird even on the page. I think they just started skimming it because they were probably just like, oh my god, what the hell is this?
Tyga's begging you to stop.
I see. It's okay, child. It'll be over soon. The girls placed the respective negative and positive tags on their foreheads. Instantly, Tookie shot across the podium and landed forehead to forehead with C-L. Dylan was locked to ZZ. 'Cause that's not awkward.
Nope.
Their cintures released from their waists and bound them together as one. Tookie had never been this close to anyone in her life,
Oh,
not
jeez.
even Lizzie. The extreme proximity was beyond uncomfortable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
War of Words starts now, Matt Joe proclaimed. ZZ jumped right in. Funny-looking people like you two girls and your mini and pasty friends over there, she paused, indicating Shiraz and Piper, deserve to feel attractive too, even when you are nowhere near even average looking, and have everyone at Modelland be unflummoxed as why you unfortunate lookings, ULs for short, so it's capitalized.
Cool.
As to why you unfortunate lookings, ULs for short, are even here. But let me leave you with something positive. You ULs are beautiful too, even if it's just way deep down within the depths of your insides. And I mean mining for coal deep. Chase guffawed in the audience. Tookie's stomach did its familiar lurch. Matt Joe ducked his head, ran his hand over his bald spot, and then quickly measured his features once more. You have a sharp tongue, Miss ZZ, he murmured. Perhaps it cuts too sharply, he added under his breath, his voice cracking. He turned to C-L. You're next. C-L shut her eyes. For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Tookie could feel Dylan breathing shallowly beside her. Then C-L's hair started to blow wildly around her face.
Okay.
She opened her mouth to speak.
Just gonna start doing poetry
Yes, lustrous is your hair, she began. Agreed. Bewitching is your stare. It's a poem, Tookie realized, but she was also confused. C-L was looking at ZZ, not at Tookie and Dylan. C-L continued. Perhaps perfection is your snout. Queen bees have stung your handsome pout. What lies within your cantankerous head? Infected hard pus and old blackheads. Strength be with you, Pessa, as you fade, whilst the ULs dance upon your grave.
Wow, okay. She's not...
When she was finished, Tookie felt the urge to clap and cry at the same time. Unfortunately, her bound wrist prevented her... Move, cat, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, her bound wrists prevented her from applauding. ZZ's eyes narrowed, but she lowered her gaze and swallowed hard. It looked as though C-L had actually gotten to her. Matt Joe paused from measuring the squareness of his chin and looked at Tookie and Dylan. You're on, Bellas. Tookie's mind raced, and her heart started to beat faster. She gazed at C-L in her uncomfortably small uniform. It was clever and generous the way C-L had defended Tookie and her friends, but Tookie had a strong gut feeling it was just a consolation prize. A pat on the back before they were inevitably booed out of here or turned into mannequins. This might be the only time Tookie would be able to tell C-L her feelings. And so she took a deep breath, stared into C-L's green eyes, and began to speak in her own special way, in letter form, as though she were writing in her T-mail jail. Dear C-L, when you chose me on the day of discovery, you were my savior. When your hand touched mine, and not my sister's, it was surreal. Suddenly, I wanted something so badly that I never knew I really desired. You're amazing. You've accomplished so much. You stand up for what you believe is right. But I lie awake at night thinking about you. Sometimes I'm confused. Sometimes I'm proud of you. And often, I think you are deeply troubled, perhaps even mentally ill. But mostly, I tend to think the latter. ZZ says she has no idea why my friends and I are here at Modelland. It's not like I have a clue either. I know people here see a midget and a whale and a ghost and a freak of nature. That's all kind of
rude. Wow. Zizi said some nasty stuff, but she has never said whale, and just...
I know that Tookie's saying that this is what they see, but that also comes across very rude.
I'm still waiting.
It's like going up to your friend being like people are calling you a whale, or people think you're a whale.
Uh-huh.
And it's still not necessarily how you should phrase things.
No,
That
like,
might start lots of drama and anger.
I'm still waiting for her to include any part of what they're supposed to be debating right now.
Right, so let me continue. Let's see. Where did I even leave off?
Whale.
And freak of nature.
Yeah.
My friends know it too. Maybe our presence at Modelland is just a big joke. Or something else. A sacrifice. She paused, glancing up at the room. Her friends visibly shuddered. Zizi grinned. Maybe this whole place is only in my dreams and none of you really exist. Still, I'm happy here. I've never felt better. But there's a harsh truth I have to face up to. Ideal beauty is the only accepted and celebrated kind. Take my sister Miracle. Whenever she walks into a room anywhere, people lose all self-control, laser focused on making sure she's taken care of, made comfortable, kept happy. And they don't even know her. Tookie paused for a moment. So that is proof within itself that the definition of beauty is universally narrow. While my sister is worshipped, I am ignored, forgotten, the quintessential forget-a-girl. We all have a place in life, and for the majority of mine, that's all I've been. And I think that's all I'll ever be. C-L, thank you for standing up for me earlier, but please allow me to accept my fate. Your crusade is useless, pointless. Perhaps it's what is driving you insane. From one unfortunate-looking girl to one unquestionably ravishing one, Tookie De La Crème.
I don't like it.
Nope.
And it just...
Didn't Tookie just say, not all that long ago that, she felt like she actually, wants to try and, thinks she...
Yeah.
Well, although I guess she never said, she stood a chance, and this is kind of, her accepting that.
But, this... You've established for so long, Tyra, that Tookie is so, has so many issues with her self-image and with confidence, and she's super shy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh, we skipped 4 months. She's gonna be willing to share all those feelings in front of everybody. It's fine.
Unless this is the only way, because she obviously is better at expressing her emotions and speaking through writing letters.
But she's not writing a letter. She's still speaking to people.
But she's pretending she's writing it. She's pretending this is how she would write it, as if she's writing the letter, is what she's pretending. So I think this might actually be a creative way that Tookie has found to actually make an argument.
I don't hate that it's a letter. I quite enjoy the letters, how she's using to communicate her feelings.
Uh-huh.
I'm just she let it all out there. All of those feelings inside of her, just shy of sharing. And my parents, they don't really like me, but you were the first person who ever liked me, kind of a thing.
It's not the strongest... I feel like it's not the strongest argument, just for the fact that she takes a little bit too long to set the scene without getting to the main point of it.
It needs to be more succinct.
Just a little bit, because it works well for a letter format. But this whole part about thanking C-L, really you wouldn't have that in a debate.
No,
not in this way. Because from
you
could have started at. You could have cut out the whole first paragraph, start at Zizi says she has no idea why my friends and I are here at Modelland. It's not like I have a clue either. Then blah, blah, blah. Maybe this whole place is only my dreams and none of you really exist. Still, I'm happy here. I've never felt better. But there's a harsh truth I have to face up to. Mm-hmm. Ideal beauty is the only accepted and celebrated kind.
Yep. Didn't need all that flair.
Yep. So keep it there. They take care of Miracle. She's a forget-a-girl. It's all she has ever been. It's all she ever will be. And then sign off. You can cut out at least 2 paragraphs.
Please.
Yep.
Please cut out 2 paragraphs.
Also, poor Dylan and her other friends.
Yeah.
Tookie's doing her job. She is forming an argument that's going to be really hard for ZZ and C-Tilde-L to argue back against because she's made a good point. Plus, it's what ZZ believes, and her job is to argue against it. So, theoretically, she should fail. Let's see. Beside her, Dylan gasped. In the audience, Shiraz and Piper held each other, tears in their eyes. The Centura's bindings on their wrists released. ZZ, who looked overjoyed, opened her mouth to speak, but C-Tilde-L cleared her throat and spoke over her, venom lacing her voice. They have lobotomized you, she cried, staring straight at Tookie. We've all been brainwashed to think that beauty is this. She pointed to her own face. Or that. She pointed to Chase. Or that, or that, or that, or that. She pointed in turn to Bibiana, Miliki, and ZZ. When in fact, if we reprogram our brainwashed with extra strength bleach, this is all one hyphenated word. If we reprogram our brainwashed with extra strength bleach minds, it can be that. She jabbed her finger at Shiraz, and that, she motioned to Piper, and this, she grabbed hold of Tookie's face, and fat, Dylan screamed. The class froze. Urpessa let out a snicker. What? Tookie and C-Tilde-L said at the
Dylan
same
to get
time.
her turn because they totally skipped her.
Y'all listen to me right now, Dylan yelled, trembling. There may be different types of girls in this room from different countries all over this damn different world. But y'all have one thing in common, and I refuse to stand here and state the obvious. She gestured to her body. Y'all can debate unique features this and atypical looks that all damn day long. But what in the hell is unique about me? A waist as wide as this damn sphere is round, legs as thick as tree trunks, and a butt as big as the Bo Big Teak Nation. Oh, ladies, do not waste any more of my precious time with your nonsense word war, because none of it, not even a smidgen, not a drop, not a damn thing pertains to me. C-Tilde-L looked enraged. Dylan, beauty is what we believe it to be. If you would just look in the damn mirror, girl, you'd appreciate. That's where you're dead wrong, C-Tilde-L. Dylan's lips were quivering uncontrollably. You may be right about one thing, that beauty is what we believe it to be, but that's from the neck up, and you know it. C-Tilde-L shook her head. Oh, so you're going to give up that easily, coward? You're just as bad as they are. You have to defend your body, to the death if you have to. Shut up, C-Tilde-L. Just shut the hell up. Dylan ripped the plus sign off her head and ran to the circle outline in the floor. She frantically jumped up and down on it until it finally glided open, sucking her out of the classroom sphere. Dylan! Tookie, Piper, and Shiraz yelled. But Dylan was gone. Guru Matt Joe pressed a palm over his eyes. Tookie, your partner has committed acts of insolent yelling, unsavory language, and departed class before being dismissed. And that being said, your arguments, well, they are the most eloquent speeches I've heard in quite some time.
What?
Your words cut so close, got to the root of what we all feel. Well, many of us feel anyway. Yep. He paused nervously to clear his throat. Well done, my dear. Tookie, you have won your first war of words. They didn't actually, let ZZ and C-Tilde-L make a rebuttal.
They haven't been doing rebuttals, is the thing. What I'm confused about, it totally sounded like he's like, you lost because your partner just up and left, cursed everyone out.
Well, meanwhile, C-Tilde-L also, had a bunch of fits of insolent yelling. So I guess that part evens each other out, but then I guess Tookie still wins. I totally thought she was going to lose, but...
Because it was the most eloquent writing he'd ever heard, and I don't understand.
I wish we would have gotten to see ZZ and C-Tilde-L try and make a case against it, like a true debate, because...
did we not just hear C-Tilde-L recite poetry, off the top of her head?
Yeah.
And Tookie's is better because it was a letter. It was from the heart. I'm like, no, I would have been like, that poetry stuff was so sick and it lined up so well. And
yeah, but it also kind of was just a slap in the face to ZZ.
Yeah,
so they're not even really debating. It's just like, who has the better argument in round one? This person. We're not gonna even let them them argue
Yeah,
for
it's not a
round 2 and
debate.
actually, debate this.
It's not a debate.
Because, it would have made a whole lot of sense if... See, Tilda tries to argue against Tookie a little bit, but then gets very rudely interrupted. But Dylan doesn't necessarily help her case by storming out. I guess Tookie probably would have won just because I feel like Zizi wouldn't have known what the hell to say because she doesn't believe what she's being assigned to argue anyway and agrees with Tookie. So I feel like Tookie would win in that way, but see, Tilda was still, ready to argue and debate, but I don't know.
I just dislike this whole chapter.
Yep.
I'd rather read the period one again. This just makes me feel all levels of uncomfortable.
I don't know. I don't like the first part of this chapter. The second, debate half is just kind of just
It's grating.
Yeah. Tookie barely heard Guru Matt Joe congratulating her. The circle had opened again. Dylan, she cried, rushing towards it. But it was Persimmon. She stalked right up to Guru Matt Joe. You let her spout her sickening poems without doing anything about it? She hissed at the Guru. How dare you? While we work overtime to reform C tilde L, your lackadaisical attitude has regressed her reprogramming by a fortnight. You know who you will have to answer to for this.
He's the one
that assigned her the topic. He knows exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
C tilde L pointed it out. So, yeah. Guru Matt Joe turned away, looking guilty but satisfied. Persimmon redressed C tilde L in the gray ugly room jumpsuit and replaced the muzzle on her face. Class is allowed to, depart, Matt Joe announced. I'll see you soon, but now I have to go make, a special deposit. Yep.
What?
Ew, Chase snickered. I can only imagine what kind of deposit he's talking about.
Why'd you use that word?
I don't know.
You couldn't know.
Maybe she thinks he has to go to the bathroom.
Just no. Why?
Matt Joe ignored her and pressed a button under his stool. All the jewels and other metal paraphernalia stuck to the wall crashed to the floor. The Likey sisters rushed to the sparkling pieces, pocketing items Tookie had a feeling weren't theirs. Tookie grabbed her T-O-O-K-E button and flower brooch before the Likeys could steal those too, then followed Shiraz and Piper to the center of the sphere and out of the circle and out of the magnetosphere. Once they were on the ground, they spotted Dylan in the distance, running into the plaid cube balanced on one of its points. They darted off after her. They entered the cube through a door just above the balance point. Dylan was climbing a stepladder up ahead. Dylan! Shiraz screamed. Why you run? We want to talk to you! But Dylan didn't answer. The girls scrambled up the ladder after her and entered a hallway that smelled strangely of wet fur. As the girls careened down the increasingly narrow hall, a loud hissing sound reverberated off the walls.
Okay.
Remember the reviews we read? Dylan, are you in here? Tookie yelled.
I think it is.
The noisy hiss ended in a piercing screech. The girls ground to a halt. What was that? Piper looked at the others with terrified eyes. Do you think it was Dylan? Tookie whispered. The screeching escalated, growing into a full chorus of growls and hisses. All of a sudden, Shiraz's eyes widened. I know where we are! At that, words lit up on the corridor's wall. They looked like they'd been written with ragged claws. Tookie read them silently, her heart sinking to her feet. Catwalk Corridor! Shiraz screamed. And that was when the first set of claws ripped into Tookie's flesh. Whoosh.
Get him, Tiger, get him.
Oh boy.
This is fun now. I like
It's
this
just
game.
a wild ride.
What a way to
All
end
right,
a chapter.
your turn. At least you have the short one. I got to read the fun chapter. All right.
Alright, are you ready for this?
Nope, your turn.
Chapter 25. One Biatch. Tookie grabbed hold of her ankle and felt a warm flow of blood trickling to her foot. She wiped her hand on the pants leg of her uniform. She could hear the hisses and vicious animal noises growing closer. Something furry and blurry moved in the darkness, and then, suddenly, a shining claw reached out again and struck her mouth. Rip! Ow! Tookie whispered. Oh. Ow! Tookie whispered. The familiar trickle
That
of blood.
should not be your response for getting scratched in the lip.
No. The familiar trickle of blood dripped down her chin. Joining the trickle was a tickle at the back of Tookie's nose and throat. Achoo! Is she allergic to them?
I bet she's allergic to cats.
Good God. Bless you, came a high-pitched female voice with an accent from the slums of the famed country of Tulip. Toolip. Accent from the slum. I don't want to attempt anything in fear of offending anyone. And hello, big noggin, aren't you an oogly one? Hey there, Bigfoot. Something soft and furry brushed up against her leg. Tookie tensed. Who's there? Her throat itched something terrible. Hives broke out on her skin. As her eyes adjusted to the dim hallway light, she saw hundreds of eyes staring back at her. Cats! Piper screamed. Two striped animals with amber eyes slinked out of the shadows, stalking Tookie, Shiraz, and Piper. Their fuchsia-painted claws extended like switchblades. In even dimmer light, the larger of the two stopped to lick its paws and rear end. I know they're cats.
All of a
but,
sudden, that's just not intimidating.
And, I know they're cats, but come on. What you looking at, nosy? A voice scoffed. Can't I bathe in peace without your ugly butt staring at my beauty and my booty? Dozens of felines crept out of the shadows, their tails puffed, their backs arched, their eyes flashing green, amber, and yellow. They hissed and spat in unison. Tookie's eyes felt like they were on fire. She was having a monster of an allergic reaction. The cat's fuchsia claws extended more, and it prepared to pounce on Tookie. Tookie turned to run, but a massive gate slid from the ceiling and slammed down in front of her, the spikes at the bottom piercing the floor. She was trapped. Then she spied a fluffy, long-haired white cat lounging lazily on a high shelf. Its sapphire eyes widened. As Tookie peered more closely, a strange realization came over her. This was no ordinary feline. Its face looked human. Insert the cat
Face
trailer.
cat.
That's all I'm seeing right now is the cat from the cat's trailer.
I'm also thinking of Face Cat from My Brother.
To Tookie's astonishment, the cat stared straight at her and spoke.
Well, the other cats are speaking too,
Yeah.
so this isn't all that surprising.
Can you do a Persian a favor, it said, before my hair gets any more tangled and ends up looking like your heinous and confused bird's nest of a head? Can you comb mine, please? I haven't seen my hairdresser in weeks. Tookie's hand instinctively reached up to her own hair, but stopped midway to her head. She felt ashamed that a cat, even one with a human face, could make her so insecure. Not only did the Persian have a human face, Tookie realized, but she looked oddly familiar. A lot like the Intoxibella Hunka, who was a favorite at Cappuccino Fashion Week. At least, Tookie thought, it wasn't Anka's over-caffeinated, high-strung best friend Fiona who drove everyone crazy. Just throw out some characters here. Just throwing out some random characters.
Okay.
World building and shit. Tookie sneezed again, and then turned and saw that Piper had been backed against a wall by a gang of hairless sphinxes. Blank girl needs some color, they chanted in unison. Take one of these. The skinniest of the cats extended its paw to Piper, revealing a round pill that glowed green. It will make your skin toasty and rich-colored.
That's right, take the street drugs.
And you won't sleep for days, a mangy tabby cat added. Wow, Tookie thought. The tabby looked like hyperactive Fiona from Iceland. A Siamese with oddly human lips, large blue eyes, and a conniving... I gotta edit that right here.
Remember the Markiplier video where he's like,
Boo.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll put right here.
I'm gonna meow the f*** out of you.
Am I a cat? Why did I waste my life making this video?
Siamese with oddly human lips, large blue eyes, and a conniving smile, which looked a lot like an Intoxibella Tookie had seen in Wrinkle Redux ads, was no competition for Shiraz's blazing speed. "I've coughed up furballs bigger than you," the Siamese spat at Shiraz as the girl dodged a paw with ease. "You look like Intoxibella Farah!" Shiraz exclaimed, noticing the cat's human resemblance to the model whose famous crescent moon-shaped eyes sold countless tubes of mascara. Who's speaking now? "The repugnant, moronic, miniature midget is correct," the Siamese jeered, the hair on her back standing on end. "Farah, the princess of verbal barbarisms, Modelland magazine calls me." "So wait, you actually are the Intoxibella?" Tookie asked.
Uh-oh.
"How?" The cats didn't answer. They'd all noticed something at the end of the hallway. The Catwalk Corridor sign suddenly burned brighter, revealing the arrival of two more girls. Zizi and Chaste.
Yep.
Dozens of cats circled their ankles. A calico zeroed in on Zizi, murmuring, "I want this pretty one right here." Then, to everyone's horror, it squatted and urinated on Zizi's feet, marking its territory.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works, I'm sorry.
If you're marking territory, even like the females, that's not how that works.
They're not gonna squat.
No.
They're just gonna lift their tail and be like, "Come on, guys. This one is mine! Mine! Mine!" Zizi screeched and ran away, frantically shaking her feet. All the cats laughed. Tookie sneezed several times. Then she felt a tap on her leg. "Hey, you." It was the scrawny, hairless Sphinx. "Want one?" She offered Tookie a pill. "Like me, they're hypoallergenic, and no side effects, except for a little fun." Tookie shook her head. A shiny-furred Abyssinian. I could just see Tyra right now. Book of cats. Like what I got as a child from garage sales. Oh, yes. Abyssinian, Persian, Sphinx. Like, she doesn't know what these cats are. She opened a book, like, cat breeds. Yep.
So for the one chick that's the white Persian cat, does the actual model have like that squished up face?
Must be. I mean, how else would she know it's a Persian if it's got a human face? Like, it could be a Maine Coon for all she knows. Like, come on.
Some other white fluffy cat, I don't know.
Oh, no. Tookie shook her head. A shiny-furred Abyssinian that looked exactly like the Intoxibella Daisy Ellen from 500 bit her leg. "How? That ankle was tasty," Daisy Ellen cooed, batting her eyeliner-rimmed eyes. "Tasty like sweet cream. I want me some more." "Sweet cream?" A black cat that sounded just like the Intoxibella Danielle exclaimed. "Give me some of that." "Catch your own leg," Daisy Ellen screeched. "No, I want this one," Danielle yowled, extending her claws. "Me ouch!" Daisy Ellen screamed and pounced on Danielle. The felines landed on top of Tookie's head. Tookie felt their claws dig into her mouth, and she screamed in pain again. What's with things in Tookie's mouth? Where
did these cats come from? Did they fall off of like a ledge of... Wait, they were just biting her ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Unless these are more cats. They fell on her head. What?
They jumped up and they're just fighting on top of her head, and their feet are in her mouth, I guess.
What the hell?
Things in Tookie's mouth is a fetish of Tyra's. Like...
No.
She gazed across the room at Piper. "We have to find a way out of here. Has anyone seen Dylan?" Piper ran over and grabbed Tookie's hand. They raced down the corridor. "Come on!" Paws swiped at them from all sides. When they reached the end of the corridor, Shiraz, Zizi, and Chase stood in the way, staring at something obscured in shadows. They all looked horrified.
Wait, who grabbed Tookie's hand and said we have to get out of here?
Piper.
Okay.
"What is it?" Tookie asked, clutching Shiraz's shoulder. "Not sure," Shiraz mumbled, her voice quavering. "But look!" She pointed at an audience of cats facing the same direction. Loud, wailing purrs came from deep within their throats,
Oh, they just stumbled upon the warrior gathering. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's the full moon this evening. Echoing through the hallway. Slowly, they all began to make yowling noises at the obscured shadow. They bent down on their front legs and arched their backs, then buried their heads under their paws, as if they were praying to whatever lay before them in the darkness.
The moonstone?
I guess it's the moonstone? My Warriors fans out there? Suddenly, a light illuminated the mysterious being. It is the moonstone! It was an oversized lion's face. No, it's just Mufasa. Its eyes were golden and its mouth was practically as large as the wall. The girls held their breath. The cats remained silent and still. The lion's face expression changed from ferocious to enraged. Tookie sucked in her breath even more. The face looked remarkably like the belladonna. I am utterly ashamed of each and every one of you pathetic, paltry pussycats, it roared in the belladonna's voice. You Intoxibellas have been in this incarcerated purgatory for an exponential amount of time and still behave like the savage animals I've turned you into. What do you want them to do? Turn them into cats? They're gonna be like cats. You want them to be like people? Turn them into people, like... Right?
I mean, people can be really mean too. I think that's how they became cats, but that's not helping.
Thinking like Pinocchio and all the boys on like whatever island, they get turned into donkeys and they stopped acting like boys and because they were acting like little asses and they got turned into donkeys.
How do you ever expect to be a real boy? What's he think I look like?
So you turn people into cats, they're gonna probably live life as cats. Just saying. The cats bowed their heads in shame. The belladonna lion exhaled and fire spewed from its nostrils, so it's Firestar.
I think it's like the Wizard of Oz Firestar.
Oh, yes. The smell of wet and burned fur mixed with the stench of kitty litter. Why?
They need bathrooms too. Cats are people too.
Stop being like cats! Here's your litter box! What do you want from them? You turn them into freaking cats and then you're like, stop being like that.
And multiple cats in the same household is not good.
Oh, it's great.
Just because they don't always get along, there's always something that like sets one of them off that they might not always get along all the time. Cats don't live in like they have like multiple cats in one small space don't always do all that well together. So throw like hundreds of Intoxibellas and turn them into cats and expect them to
put
be
a bunch
fine.
of catty women together and what do you get?
Cat fights.
Apparently the 4 clans. The belladonna line continued. The Catwalk Corridor was created as a correctional facility for you to reverse your abominable behavior, to be domesticated. This is a jail to teach you to stop being such catty wenches. Because in the land of Intoxibellas, whether down below in society or up here at our beloved Modelland, there is room for only one biatch. She made the last word sound like extended, pissed off meow. I don't know how that sounded like a meow.
I don't know.
And you, my despicable dears, are looking right at her, the lion boomed. I am ashamed that you malicious models cannot utter one single... She missed upon opportunity. I'm so... Positive phrase. She missed it. I am so disappointed, Tyra.
Of all the stupid jokes she tries to slip in that just like fall flat.
She's using all these catty jokes and
classic cat joke.
I'm just gonna say it anyway. I am ashamed that you malicious models cannot utter one single positive phrase to those you come upon. You will remain confined to the corridors until you change your evil ways. And not a day before that redeeming day will I release the curse that has been put upon you. Return to your pens, now! The cats ran toward the lion face and jumped into its golden eye sockets. As the Daisy Ellen-faced Abyssinian jumped through one of the openings, she yelled, Watch out, De La Crème! This kitty cat got a taste of your sweetness and wants more of your cream. Yuck.
This is weird.
After all the cats vanished, the lion opened its mouth even wider and extended its tongue out like a cushy red carpet. Its jagged teeth dripped saliva, and its hot breath blew through the girl's hair. Shiraz looking around. What we do now, Tookie? Oh, screw it, Tookie blurted out. She walked up to the tongue, stepped on it, and walked toward the teeth. I guess we follow the taste bud road. Anything to get to Dylan. Come on, guys. Piper, Shiraz, and even Zizi and Chase tentatively followed Tookie past the teeth into the throat of the lion, and emerged in the hallway of the D.
Into the lion's mouth.
What in the hell was that? Tookie whispered. And when she turned
We'd like to
around,
know.
Catwalk Corridor and the belladonna lion face were gone.
What the hell?
And they're
What
on
the hell?
25.
Okay, so are like the actual Intoxibellas that are stuck there? Are they?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why we haven't turned C. Tildale into a cat.
Yeah, if it's a correctional, well, maybe it's because she's not being catty. She's just being, headstrong.
It's like it's a correctional facility. Just turn her into a cat, and apparently it must be working out at some
Is
point.
this because you're not allowed to have too many models walking around at once?
I guess so. Just get tired of one, turn it into a cat, and you got a cat model. It's fine.
Why? Just what? Why?
I'm sorry.
How did Tookie and them find their way in there? Why did Zizi and Chase show up to do nothing?
They got into a building, this plaid cube. They ran up a stepladder. The hallway kept narrowing, and they were just there.
They could have at least had, Chase and Zizi go, follow them to, probably to taunt Dylan. I'm assuming that's why they were there. But then they don't do anything. Why have them there?
No point.
Why not have them, be standing outside later and be like, ha, you're covered in scratches. What happened to you? Get into cat fight? And I'm just, look at each other like, you have no idea.
Yeah, I just...
Why is this necessary?
I'm just imagining all these freakazoid cat-looking things with human features is just...
Space cat.
Face cat is upsetting. How do
Why?
you do this right? You just do the eyes. Like Hunger Games, where all the monsters dog things had the eyes of the contestants. Make it super creepy, but not nightmare fuel.
I mean, it's a correctional facility. They're not supposed to be happy. I'd be kind of upset if I looked like one of the weird cats from the CGI Cats movie that'll be coming out.
Yep.
I wouldn't be happy with that.
This is one special book, guys. Now we're at page 318. And only 22 chapters from the end. We're halfway there.
Still not as weird as the chapter I read. Still not as weird.
No, I quite enjoyed the weird of the cat chapter.
It's at least more tolerable than the other part.
And the other part, yeah. I would take crazy cat women fusion things over randomly sucking strangers' thumbs any day.
It's so weird!
And now with that, it's time to get ready for bed.
Yep. Alright, we've had enough for the night, guys.
Yeah, so let us know what you thought down in the comments below, and if you dare to continue to follow us on this journey, make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for when the next video is uploaded. So, thanks guys. Bye!